Without having a catwalk of pavements to present their carefully curated outfit combos on, fashion enthusiasts are now desperately grappling at the seams of indoor wear as an output for creativity. With Instagram pages dedicated to working from home wear and a rising popularity of DIYs, social media is becoming a curated haven of fashionable face masks, matching loungewear and colorful slippers. How will these lockdown trends develop, and moreover, what will happen to fashion post-COVID? We're going to talk about this on the show today. Hello everyone, you're listening to the Socially Desi Show, the podcast that motivates you to live, create and inspire. If this is your first time here, welcome. On our show, we discuss tips and strategies with our guest speakers on how to tackle problems related to personal growth, mental health, relationships, entrepreneurship and health and fitness. So hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com for more of such content. Today I am joined by Rohini Khanna, an entrepreneur, designer and fashion influencer from Mumbai. She recently launched her label FMR The Store by Rohini at the Bombay Times Fashion Week and was the talk of the town for her refreshing take on women's workwear collection. Hello Rohini, welcome to the show.
Hi Anurag, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to be hosting you on the show today, Rohini. So for all our viewers who don't know you, Rohini, why don't you tell us, when did you first realize that you wanted to pursue a career in fashion design, and what was your inspiration behind becoming a fashion designer?
Oh, honestly, when it happened, I wasn't even aware there's something, there's something called a profession like fashion designer that exists, because it happened at the age of maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
And I really didn't know what was going on. So obviously, like every other little girl, I used to own my, Barbie dolls and everything. But for whatever reason, I wanted to buy, I don't know if this thing still exists, but you could buy separate dresses for your Barbie doll besides what they already had on them. So I used to collect my pocket money, go buy different dresses, put it on, and get very excited when I used to dress them up in different shoes and, different outfits. And then, slowly, gradually, as I grew up, when I was 8 and 9, I used to pick up my mom's fashion magazines and go through all the pictures, get very excited, when I used to see these really well-dressed people. And then, going for parties as I grew older, maybe, at the age of 13, 14, the highest point of going for these parties used to be looking at all the well-dressed people.
Right.
And every time I used to see them, it used to be like, oh my God, my day is made. Like, I used to just go and look forward to go to these parties to see such well-dressed people.
True.
Yeah. And then slowly, gradually, as I, picked up all these things from, various, like from the magazines and, from maybe something I had a flair for it, which I wasn't aware of. I started incorporating it in my own wardrobe and in my own, my personal style. So I started getting compliments for it and people started taking advice from me. That's when I realized that maybe somewhere I have a flair for fashion and I should pursue it. And that's how I realized.
That's really interesting because, once you have a passion for something and you turn that into your own business, that is where I guess, it's the perfect combination of a work, I guess, as a business. That's for true. Any entrepreneur.
That's true.
So guys who don't know, her FMR, the store is available on Instagram. And Rohini, also tell us about the reason behind naming it Fashion is My Religion, your own handle. What was the inspiration behind that name?
Yeah, so Fashion is My Religion is my handle on Instagram, which is basically, that's an Insta blog, okay, where I talk about styling and, like lifestyle related things and, all of that. Basically, I create content related to fashion.
Right.
On that. And then when I wanted to start my own label, I was thinking of a good name and I was like, wait a minute, why shouldn't it be a take from this, which is Fashion is My Religion? So that's basically why it's called FMR The Store.
Right. And talking about starting your own label, it's a dream for any fashion designer to showcase their designs in, any of the fashion weeks. So, what was your biggest fear now since you were exposed to fashion from such early age? What was your biggest fear when you thought of, okay, I'm going to go to the Bombay Times Fashion Week and I'm going to showcase my collection there? What was it? How was the whole experience?
Honestly, I'm not even joking, Anurag. It happened so fast. Okay. I mean, the offer that I got.
Okay.
And, within days, I had to get the collection ready and, put it out there. I barely had 10 days to put the collection out there. It was all a very last minute thing. So yeah, I didn't have the time to think or get nervous because there was hardly any time.
True.
And it was only after the show was over, it hit me that, oh my God, what did I just do? What just happened? It was only after everything was over, I realized it had happened. So technically, I didn't have time for the fear to set in.
And tell us more about the challenges of any fashion designer in that case, especially when this whole lockdown situation is happening. What all challenges do you feel, especially fashion designers would face in this testing times?
See, obviously, it's a changing time, right? So you have to change with the changing time.
Yeah.
Now, I personally feel that a creative person is someone who knows and changes with the time.
Right.
Okay, of course it hits you, because that this is a crisis situation. It's not a normal scenario. So initially it hits you, and you kind of you think what to do, how to deal with this, and how do you come out of it, and what's the best way to deal with it. And then eventually, this is how I always put it, okay, a loser is somebody who succumbs and a winner is somebody who overcomes.
Right.
So you overcome your issues and your anxieties when such a situation happens, and you come up with something new, a fresh new, perspective to do the same thing. Come up with interesting masks. I'm planning to do that. Maybe even PPE suits. Okay.
Right.
For airlines and hospitals and, places where you would probably require them, like salons and, dermatologist clinics and all these places.
Right.
Interesting PPE suits and interesting masks. So yeah, you have to learn to change with the changing times. I guess that's what it is. Of course, it is a crisis situation. And we just have to keep our fingers crossed that, this passes by and, it's all good and hunky-dory, after a year or so. But that's again, living in fool's paradise.
True.
So change with the changing times.
Exactly. And I would like to give an example of Coco Chanel, after the World War II had happened, right? They were the ones who actually started to make women's wear collection out of men's underwear jerseys. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I
so
know.
they it was a crisis situation for them as well, for the whole world.
Correct.
But the way, rightly said by you, the way you look at things, the way you find opportunities in crisis, that is where you will prevail. And it's not like 100% of people would prevail. The ones who actually embrace the fact that yes, it's a situation, it's a problem for us, and how we are going to pivot our business, or let's say how we are going to manage our business in these testing times, that is where I guess brands would really flourish.
True. Absolutely. You're right. You have to.
Right. And I see a lot of, postponing happening across the world. In fact, Burberry and Ralph Lauren, they have already cancelled their fall collection launch happening. They've shifted to 2021. Do you also see a lot of online releases now happening for luxury brands across the world?
Oh, yes, that's going to happen. In fact, one luxury, not luxury per se, but one African brand I know, okay? They had a virtual fashion show without any models. Okay. It was just, these figurines. Okay. That were, it was all graphically done. Okay. It was beautifully done. Okay. They made the figurines do a proper ramp walk with music and lights and everything, but there were no faces, obviously. So it was different.
Was it like a 3D event that happened, or was it
3D,
like a real?
Yeah, like a 3D event. Yeah. It was different for sure. But it was just obviously, I don't know how people are going to take to it. Of course, it's a new thing, right?
Right.
But people are at least trying, and that's what matters. You're not like, sitting and thinking, oh my God, what has happened to me? Such a crisis situation. I can't handle this and all of that. You come out, you do something.
True.
What and you have to do trials and errors. Some things may work, some things may not work, but you have to keep trying.
You have to. There's no other way around it. See, hard work has no other alternative. This is what
Correct.
I believe. And I guess I would also like to, have your take on this particular thing that for brands right now, tapping onto social media is more than important than ever, I believe. A lot of fashion brands who were, focused more on their brick and mortar business and
Correct.
focused on the launch of their collection on stages, big stages. I guess now they should embrace social media, connect with a lot of bloggers, fashion bloggers, influencers. How do you feel the shift in perspective in this regard?
See, I personally feel right now everyone is just trying to come up with a game plan. Okay, like I said, you have to do a lot of trials and errors to see what works.
Right.
Okay. So of course, they have to. Social media obviously is going to play a huge role. Okay. But then again, of course, it's going to play a huge role, and e-commerce is going to be the way. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to happen, at least for a while. So I think brands right now are just coming up with a game plan and new strategies, okay, in order to see what works. But right now, everyone is pretty much quiet in terms of promoting things. If you must have realized, none of the influencers per se are promoting anything.
Right.
If you have been observing what the social media game is all about right now, the influencers are not promoting anything, because what happens is you have to also understand it's a very sensitive time.
Right.
Okay. And people don't want to be, nobody wants, at least for me and a lot of other people I know, nobody wants to be thrown luxury items in their face. Oh my God, go buy this or go buy that. It's like, no, I don't want to buy anything right now. People are dying.
Right. That's true.
So can we just not talk about this right now? So of course, because it's a crisis situation, for a while, everyone's just trying to see what works, what doesn't work. So eventually, I think by mid-June or, first week of July, everyone would have come up with their strategy, because no matter what, the show must go on. Everybody has to move on, right? And accept this as a new normal.
The show must go on, and definitely I also believe that the number of launches that used to happen earlier, like the season launches that they used to do, I guess the number of launches would also go down.
Yeah, and then they'll see how it works. See, okay, so there are always advantages and disadvantages of everything, right? When you have a show, okay, so especially in a city like Bombay, okay, what are the disadvantages? Okay, disadvantages are traffic. Some people can make it, not make it because of busy lifestyles and all of that, right?
Right.
So let's just say, even if you want to attend a show which you're invited for, sometimes your meetings, they go on for a little longer, and then, the traffic doesn't permit you, and you don't end up making for it. Right. Versus now, when these launches happen online, all you have to do is just, at the click of a button, it's right there.
Yeah.
And you can attend it. Right?
Yeah.
So, of course, I think these are the advantages. Okay. And maybe as in how brands realize that this situation also has certain advantages, and you just have to just maybe gauge the situation and accordingly strategize. They will come up with things. So I think this situation definitely has its advantages. It's how we would use it to our best, capability.
Talking about advantages, do you also feel that the number of collection related to, let's say, workwear is going to reduce, and the kind of collections for activewear and loungewear would increase?
Definitely, of course. Formal wear is definitely going to take a step back, because no one's going to be technically dressing up in, heavy formal wear or anything. It's going to be more like activewear, like I said, loungewear, more casual, stuff happening.
True.
Because it's going to be more at home, and, obviously loungewear in case you want to go grocery shopping, or, maybe just out there for a walk or something. So simple, light, casual stuff is going to be the focus right now for most brands.
So how is FMR going to, focus more in your collections in the later 2020 and 21?
See, we are basically right now focusing on, slowly, gradually, I'm going to be talking about it myself on social media. I am coming up with these really interesting masks, which are not going to be like the ones that you're seeing out there in the market.
Okay.
But they're going to be slightly different, more comfortable. And it's got some very interesting, things to it.
Sure.
So that is one thing I'm going to come up with. And then obviously, things that are going to do well, like, again, loungewear and casual clothing and all of that. That's going to be like a focus right now for FMR as well.
And for new businesses, like you were talking about a few airlines opportunities that can open up for new businesses. I was looking at a couple of news the other day when the flights started, domestic flights in India. So the crew, the flight crew were wearing those simple translucent body PPE suits. What do you feel about the kind of opportunities that you see with airlines happening?
See, I think, of course, right now they're just, they've just opened and they're seeing how it goes, what happens, and, how will this, where will this, shape up?
Right.
But eventually everyone's going to want to, stylize because, your flight crew, right? They've always been very well dressed.
Yeah.
Okay. And every airline has their own way of making their crew look good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So right now, obviously, it's a crisis situation, so nobody's focusing on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if this becomes a norm for the next 6 months, then eventually, maybe within a month or so, they would want their personal crew, their respective crew. Each and every airline would want them to look a little different. Maybe, add a little bit of a style angle to it. Maybe, have a different color, different, interesting looking badge, name, the name badges that they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Something. I'm sure they'll add some different, things to it. And it's a great idea. I think they should totally do it.
Yeah, why not FMR? FMR should do it, yeah. Go and collaborate with some airlines, and definitely we would love to see, a different take on their dresses.
Of course, I would love to.
Talking about dresses, a quick rapid fire. Which airline do you think has the best uniform?
Okay, Kingfisher. I thought amongst the domestic airlines, I thought Kingfisher had a very interesting, uniform. They did a good job.
Yeah, Malia has fled the country. So,
oh yeah.
what's the next best option?
Next best would be maybe, I think, Indigo. They were also okay. But Kingfisher was good. I mean, they just stood out. So I remember Indigo doing really well. Everyone else was, I would say, everyone was, on par with each other. So it wasn't really a competition. Although I think Vijay Mallya, he made sure that I'm sure you know this, that, the flight crew, the girls, he made sure that they're very attractive and pretty looking and they're well dressed and all of that. And obviously that helps, yeah. Who doesn't want to see good looking people? Yeah,
he was all about the calendar girls, yeah. So, but I believe, in my opinion, Vistara, they have a good design.
Oh yeah, they do. Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention Vistara. Yeah, Vistara also has a very interesting uniform, no doubt about that.
Yeah, so these are the things that actually, for new businesses, these are good opportunities. And like you said earlier, it's the way you look at things that's gonna matter. And also, coming back to the people who are doing a lot of work from home, and I think this is going to be the next norm. Video meetings are, becoming a very regular feature in your daily life, right? Every morning you have someone or the other calling you from work or having client meetings. So I think looking presentable on screen in front of your camera is also going to be a big trend post-COVID.
Of course, it has to be. India, we always, this is, fortunately, this is the thing, we always follow the West for whatever they do. And this is already happening in the West. Okay. So when you say you have to look presentable in front of, the camera for the other person, it is an etiquette.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not being vain or you're not being, oh my God, superficial or something. Oh my God, I have to look good in front of the camera. No, this is etiquette.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you're presentable. Why should you look bad for the person in front of you? And especially if the person in front of you is your work colleague or maybe your boss.
True.
Or maybe, somebody from another company who's trying to pitch something good for you.
Right,
why do you have to look bad to them or, shabby hair, unkept, beard or whatever? I'm talking about the guys and even the girls, right? So you don't have to go over the top with your makeup or with your look, but you have to look well groomed and presentable. So they're already doing this in the West. They make sure that whenever they go for their Zoom meetings, official meetings or whatever, they're looking good, and birthday parties and everything. In India, it's happening, but I think slowly, gradually, they realize the value of looking presentable. Because you have to remember, the person in front of you would love to work with somebody who's presentable versus somebody who's, it makes a huge difference, I feel.
It surely does.
Right? When you're talking and when you're presenting yourself well in every way, it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference because, guys, remember that when you meet someone for the first time, the first 6 to 7 seconds, you don't speak to each other, right? So that's when you glance at each other. And that is where you make 50% of your judgment about the other person.
Absolutely.
So, looking presentable and, the other, so earlier it used to be handshakes. Now there are no handshakes. So it's all virtual. So you need to look good,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And you should.
Yeah, true. And looking good and doing a lot of DIYs. There are things that you also share on your Instagram stories, right? For women out there. Why don't you talk about it? And what all
not
you do?
Not just for women, also for men. If they want like good skin, why not? Even men are allowed to have good skin.
Well, I didn't see any DIY for me. There were no DIYs.
Please don't look closely.
the last DIY that you shared, I would need to have like long hairs for that.
Yeah, that's true. But no, hair growth and smooth hair. Even guys can aim for that. Why not? Right? Good set of hair and smooth hair. Why not?
I have Maggie hairs, yeah. My hairs are too curly.
Yeah, but you can still have it smooth, right? Why not?
No, definitely for everyone listening, go check out Fashion is My Religion on Instagram and check out her DIYs. She shares it almost every week. And it's really interesting. Apart from that, she's also a big prankster. So she does a lot of horror pranks. A couple of days back, she did a prank on a lot of people, and I was the one who got spooked a lot. Horror is your thing, right?
Totally. Oh my God, I'm such a horror genre buff. It's not even funny. I love it.
What was the last series that you watched?
I'm watching Lock and Key.
Okay.
On Netflix.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. And then I saw Betal as well.
What are your views on the Indian take on zombies?
I think I should just zip it.
Oh God. I have not yet watched it. I watched the trailer. So got a few good reviews.
Honestly speaking, it wasn't so bad. But maybe my expectations were very high. But it's not so bad. It's you can watch it once for sure.
Yeah, I mean, someone who's like a horror, fanatic. For them, I guess it won't be at that much, interesting.
Yeah, our expectations are very high.
But I'm sure there'll be something for someone.
I'm sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
And, coming back to an issue that we were discussing the other day, Rohini, there's a lot of pressure now on designers to come out with their fresh collections, right? Season after season.
Right.
And this pandemic has affected them a lot. We were talking about a lot of trolls happening on social media with designers and the kind of new designs that they're trying to bring in. Would you like to, shed some light on that?
Yeah, so I have a friend, who told me about this. So my friend's friend apparently came up with these really interesting masks for women. Okay, actually for women and men, but more women centric. Right. And she belongs to the upper strata of society, right?
Right.
And she got trolled for coming up with these masks, okay? Because apparently they said that when people are dying, how can you be coming up with, these, high-end masks, okay? And everyone was like, excuse me, she's doing something. At least she's coming up with something. She's creating something. You can't hate people who are creating. Now, because she belongs to the upper strata of society, why attack her for that, right? Versus there are so many housewives in smaller cities who are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing a brilliant job as well, like maybe making masks and, scarves with their old saris and, like old fabrics that they have and everything. So why attack people who are doing this, right?
True.
They're trying to create at the end of the day. So appreciate it.
They're making an effort, right? At the end of the day, be it a housewife from a tier 2 city or tier 3 city, or maybe a fashion designer who's in, maybe sitting in Dubai or, Los Angeles, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're trying to bring in something for you guys. At the end of the day, you are the consumers, you're going to consume it. Now it's totally up to you what you want to buy from the market, what do you want to consume. Right. But just for the sake of trolling, if you're trolling designers for trying to do something in their niche, I guess that's really weird. I mean, it's just, for a few memers and trollers that may be fun for a 5 or 10 minute high.
Yeah, I think they want their 2 minutes of fame and that's how they get it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And this is why we are doing this complete episode on that. People are also trying to help others, and there are people who are trying to bring in a change.
Right.
And this particular industry has taken a huge hit. If you see, the likes of Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart Fashion, everyone's margins have gone down, way down, right? Everyone is trying to thrive. And if you look at Myntra, there are more than 400, 500 brands that are working with Myntra. Imagine their plight at this situation. Nobody is
Right.
buying them. And with this whole lockdown situation coming in, I guess people are so much used to wearing their old clothes and being comfortable in what they have right now.
Right.
I think it's going to take time for the industry to get back to
Revive?
the pace. Yeah, revive
Yeah.
in a better way.
Right, right. No, you're right. Of course, it's going to take time.
Mhm.
But then again, like, of course, you have to change with the changing times. You have to make do with whatever you have. And I believe in this, okay,
Mhm.
that crying is not going to get you anything,
Right.
okay? Being depressed, crying, oh my God, when is this going to be over? How do you know when this is over? What is going to happen? We don't know. We have entered a new normal. We don't know what happens after this, right?
Right.
So right now, whatever the situation is, just enjoy that. Because after this, because see, the world has definitely changed for good. This is a new phase.
Yeah.
When the vaccine comes, how it happens, how it doesn't happen, we don't know. Like they said, after 9/11, the world changed.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And people in general have a habit of, crying and cribbing in whatever situation they are, not realizing that maybe this is a good situation and you don't know what's going to happen next.
True. Yeah.
At least make the best use of what you have today. You're at home. You're with your family. You're not in jail, right? You're getting a good amount of, food. You have your friends who you can talk to on the phone, video chat. You're working. You're doing 100 things.
Right.
Don't cry. The situation could be much worse. It could be much worse. So just see the silver lining and be happy and spread that positivity, because only that will be able to bring back positivity.
That's true, and it's also up to us the way we react to this situation. There's only such things that government can do, right? There are a few things that they can do, but at the end of the day, it's us that we need to figure out. Like I remember the other day when the thekas and all opened across the country, it was a chaos. It was a big chaos,
my God.
especially in Delhi
Yeah.
NCR. People just went berserk.
I know.
They were-
Everywhere.
Oh God, it was crazy. Like there were lines
crazy.
stretching till 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers of the theka. Early
Absolutely.
morning, like people standing in line, there's no social distancing happening, nothing, nobody cares about what, they just
Right,
want that
right.
alcohol to go inside their body. So,
Right.
and this is where, they say that you are as strong as the weakest link. And if
Right.
your weakest link is this, the mentality of the people, then it's going to be a very, very difficult situation for us to, outgrow this whole pandemic.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So guys, if you want to check out FMR the store, it's available on Instagram. Go check out their handle. We have a profile of Rohini on our website at sociallydesi.com/podcast. Go check it out. You will find all her links there, all her blogging links as well as her store link. Go check it out. And if you want anything else, we are here to help you out. You can send us your messages on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Definitely connect with us for future updates. Thank you, Rohini. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much, Anurag, for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. And hopefully we should do this again, maybe on some other topic.
Definitely. We will do it. And that wraps it up for today, folks. If you liked the episode, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's go viral. Remember, our weekly podcast features episodes on personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. We would love to have Rohini on our show again in the future to discuss more about the magical world of fashion in India. So if you haven't yet done so, hit the subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com. And as always, before I sign off, remember, life is black and white and everything in between.